A very good afternoon to all my dear students and welcome to the class of Financial Management SY BBA Semester 3. This is Professor Shaurya Shah welcoming you all to my lecture. Dear students, in the last lecture we completed the last method of your capital budgeting decisions, that is internal rate of return. We also saw a long sum in which we calculated three basic views, that is average rate of return, net profit value, and your we can say profitability index, right? So again, I hope now you all must be clear with all the six methods of capital budgeting that we have studied till now, right? So today also students will be solving one sum that is related to your internal rate of return, because in the last lecture we completed the method with merits and demerits, but the practical sum was remaining, right? So today we'll be completing that, but before that students will be again taking one long sum again related to two projects in which you need to decide according to the three methods, that is your average rate of return, net present value, and profitability index, right? So on that basis analysis of two projects, we will be deciding which project to be accepted and why, what are the reasons behind it. Fine. So I hope everyone is ready for the lecture. Let's begin. Now what is the example all about, students? It will be a hands-on lecture. You have to again simultaneously solve the sum also, so that it will be easy for you to understand the method. It will be same like your last time only, but only thing you need to remember is the points regarding the sums, fine? So what has been given in the question, students? This is asked two times in your university exam. First is your years are given. The years starts from 0, 1 to 5, right? Generally we are having from first year, but here the 0 year is also given. What does 0 year indicate? If you see, project A cash flow is given, project B's cash flow is given, right? So there are two projects having cash flows, then discounting factor at 12% is given, students, right? Now what you need to understand here is, in the 0 year it is negative 1 lakh and negative 75,000, right? So what does it indicate? It is not again cash inflow, but it is cash outflow. So the investment amount is given in form of table. Always remember, students, when it is given 0 year, in 0 year we always invest the money, right? Then we start getting the cash inflow from the first year onwards. So keep in mind, the investment of cash project A is 1 lakh, the investment of project B is 75,000. I suppose it is clear to each and everyone. Fine. What else is given, students? Tax rate is given at 50%, so that will be helpful to us when we calculate the amounts for various things. Cash flow is before depreciation and tax, right? So this cash flow, whatever is given, is before depreciation and tax. So you need to do each and every calculation. What you need to find out is ARR for both the projects, NPV for both the projects, and PI for both the projects, right? From that we will be deciding which project to be accepted according to the all three methods. Fine. So I hope you are clear with the background of the sum, what you need to do. Same thing what we did in the last lecture, but this is for two projects, so you need to do double calculations, and on that basis you will be deciding. Fine. Starting with the very first thing, students, average rate of return, right? So for calculating average rate of return, first we will complete project A, then we will complete project B, right? So similarly it will be helpful to you. ARR of project A, students, right? Again, what you need to do is, you need to prepare the 6-columnar table in which you will be having such kind of values, right? In that, the very first column will be years. We will not take the 0 year because it is the investment for us, that will be taking afterwards in the formula. So what you need to do, students, is first column will be year 1 to 5. Cash flow before tax, that is what is given in the sum, 20,000, 30,000, 40,000, 40,000 and 30,000, right? So you write down cash flow before tax in the second column. What will be the amount of depreciation, students, right? How can you calculate it? Depreciation is nothing is given, so consider it as your SLM method, right? If anything is specified, then you have to take it, but if nothing is specified, consider SLM. How can you calculate? What is the economic life of the project, students? As you can see, the cash flow ends on 5th year, right? So the economic life of the project is 5 years. I suppose it is clear to each and every student. Fine. So how much will be depreciation? Initial investment is 1 lakh. So 1 lakh divided by 5 years gives me the depreciation of 20,000 per year. So I'll write down 20,000 in the depreciation column, which will remain same throughout the economic life. I hope hope it is very much clear to each and every student. Fine. So what you have done till now is you have written year, you have written cash flow before tax, then you have written depreciation. Now what you will do, students, is to deduct the depreciation from the cash flow before tax, right? So this column minus this column, you will get cash flow after depreciation. So cash flow after depreciation is 0. Here it is 10,000. 30,000 minus 20,000 gives me the value of 10,000. 40,000 minus 20,000 gives me the value of 20,000, so on and so far, right? So what I'll do is, students, I'll calculate the cash flow after depreciation. Is it clear? Fine. After I calculate this thing, I will deduct the tax out of it. Tax rate given in the question is 50%, right? So deduct 50% of 0 is 0, of 10,000 is 5,000, 20,000 is 10,000, so on and so far. Hope everyone is done till here and you all are clear with this part. Fine. Now starting with the next part is your cash flow after tax. What you need to do, students, is deduct this column from this column, right? So you'll get the cash flow after tax. Fine. Quickly you can calculate the amount of this all 6 columns. I'll give you 10 seconds to note down if you have not done yet. I hope it is done, students. Fine. So what you need to do is, for ARR, remember the same procedure is to be followed for project B also, right? So what we'll do is, you have calculated your cash flow before tax, depreciation, cash flow after depreciation, tax rate, and cash flow after taxation. Is it clear? Fine. Now do the total of your net profit after tax also, students, right? So here I have done the total. So I have got the amount of 30,000 rupees. Fine. Now as per our last sum, you have to first find out the ARR, right? For that, you will apply the following formula. For the total profit for 5 years, if it is 30,000, right? Average profit, if I find out, so for 5 years if it is 30,000, for 1 year it will be how much? So 30,000 divided by 5 year, I will get the answer 6,000, right? Average investment, students, as you all know, what is our formula? It is original investment plus scrap value divided by 2. So here no scrap value is given, so 1 lakh plus 0 divided by 2 is 50,000, right? So applying it in the formula of ARR, average profit upon average investment into 100. So what is my average profit? Average profit is 6,000, we found out, divided by average investment 50,000 into 100. So I'll get the answer of ARR, that is equals to 12%, right? Is it clear to all of you? Fine. Now students, this is how we calculated ARR. So first of all, you need to calculate each and every amount for the table. From that table, you need to find out two things. The first thing is average investment and the second thing is your average profit. Average profit you can find out by dividing the total profit divided by total number of years, and average investment is my original investment plus scrap value divided by 2. Is it clear, everyone? Fine. So first thing what they have asked is ARR, we have completed. Now moving on to the next part, that is net present value, right? Again a set of calculations to be done for net present value. I hope everyone completed till here. Next is your net present value of project A, right? We are into the project A only till now, then we'll move on to your project B. Now students, for computing NPV, profit after tax or cash flow after tax, but before depreciation is taken into account, right? I hope everyone remembers the NPV what we had solved in the lecture. Fine. So what do you need? You require the same table but cash flow after tax, then you need to add up the depreciation, right? We did this in our practical sums also. So same table, what you need to do, students, is here you need to prepare cash flow after tax, you need to do, right? This is the last column of the previous table what you prepared. So cash flow after tax plus you need to add depreciation. Again depreciation remains same for entire years, right? 20,000 per year. Then what you need to do, students, is you need to again, that is, calculate cash flow before depreciation, right? After adding this amount, you will get the third column. 1 plus 2 is equals to third. Now you are having your factors at the rate of 10%, right? Why we have taken 10%? Because it is given that cost of capital is 10%, fine. So here you will calculate that what is the amount, right? It will be at 12%. There is a mistake in it, fine. Just consider this at PV factor at 12% given in the sum. So what you are having is, you are having the factors of capital, then you multiply this by your factors, you will get the present value, fine. So what you need to do, students, is take the cash flow after tax plus add depreciation in that, then you will be having cash flow before depreciation, you will be having factors that are discounting factors, and you will be having final present value, fine. So what you need to do now, total of the present value, that is 92,400 I am getting here. What is my initial investment? My initial investment is 1 lakh, students, right? So what I'll do is, what will be my NPV? My NPV will be 1 lakh minus 92,400, right? So 1 lakh minus 92,400, if I do, I'll get the answer of 7,600 negative, right? So what does it mean, students? If I invest 1 lakh rupees, I am getting 7,600 negative present value after the completion of 5 years, right? Highly undesirable project. Why? Because we had studied that if NPV comes negative, then there are chances that again the project is rejected, fine. So we'll see when we proceed, but here I am getting 7,600 negative. Now in the same calculation, as you all know, you need to do profitability index also, right? So what is profitability index, students? Profitability index is your total present value divided by present value of investment. Total present value divided by present value of investment, right? So what is the total present value? 92,400, which you have calculated just now only. What is the present value of investment, students? 1 lakh. So you will be getting the answer of 0.92, right? Again, PI is less than 1. So there are chances that the project may be rejected, right? But we'll have to wait for project B also. I hope it is done till here, right? Very much clear with project A. If it is clear, then your project B will be same, just the figures are altered, fine. So what we did is, for the project A, we first calculated the ARR on the basis of this table. We got ARR, then we found out NPV. On the basis of NPV, we found out PI, that is profitability index. I suppose it is clear. Done. Fine. 5 seconds. You can complete your answer for NPV and for PI. Then we'll start with project B. Okay, fine. So I suppose it is done, students. Moving on to the project B, right? Same thing what we did for project A, you need to again take into account the cash flow of project B, fine. So now here you can see what is the annual investment, that is original investment for project B, that is 75,000 rupees, right? Negative 75,000 shows your cash outflow. So 75,000 is my original investment. These are the cash flows of project B, fine. So that we need to consider. Okay, what will be the depreciation first of all, right? Prepare in advance the depreciation column also, students. So 75,000 divided by 5. So here the depreciation will be 15,000 per month, fine. Per year, sorry. Per year it will be 15,000, fine. So moving on to the same set of calculations, average rate of return for project B. Here the years are given that we took, right, from the question. Cash flow before taxation is given, that is also we took from the question. Same thing for project A we did, same thing for project B we are going to do. Depreciation, we just now calculated. 75,000 divided by 5 gives me 15,000 per year. Now what I have done is column number 2 minus column number 3. So I have got the cash flow after depreciation. So 25,000 minus 15,000 is 10,000. 25,000 minus 15,000 is 10,000, so on and so far, right? So I have got my third column, that is cash flow after depreciation. What I have done is again taken the tax rate of 50%. So just calculate the tax rate 50% of this column. I hope everyone has done this, students. Now what you need to do is to calculate the cash flow after tax, right? Deduct this amount from this column so that you will be getting the cash flow after tax, right? So after doing all these things for project B also similarly, the total net profit I am getting is 40,000, right? So again, after getting the total net profit 40,000, we will be calculating on the basis of the formula, right? We require two things for ARR, just we did it. What are the two things, students? The first is your average net profit and the second is your average investment, right? So average net profit, once again, the total profit for 5 years is 40,000. Average net profit, that is your 40,000 divided by 5, I can say, right? So you will be getting the answer of your 8,000. Fine. So answer here will be 8,000, not 6,000. This is of the project A. So 8,000 average profit you will be getting, students, right? What will be my average investment? Average investment will be 75,000 plus 0 divided by 2, right? So original investment plus scrap value divided by 2. So I'll get this answer. Multiply by 100, I'll get the ARR, that is 21.33%, right? So if we again briefly compare, project A was 12%, project B is 21.33. So according to ARR, your project B is better. Fine, we'll see what other methods suggest. The second is your net present value of project B, right? Similarly, what we calculated for project A, you need to calculate it for project B. Remember, students, in university exams, same type of sums are repeated. If you are clear with the methods, if you are clear with the concepts, then it will be very easy and very scoring sums are asked. Fine. Okay, for computing NPV, tax flow after, that is cash flow after tax is considered. Same thing what we did in project A. Again we'll be taking the year, then we'll be taking the cash flow after tax. This is the last column which we found out. We will take the same depreciation, we will say, then again depreciation will be added in the first column, right? So 5,000 plus 15,000 gives me 20,000, 5,000 plus 15,000 gives me 20,000, so on and so forth, right? Out of this you will be multiplying the capital factor, right? So again capital factor at 12%, so present value I'll get. So I'll do the total of present value, that is 82018. What will my net present value? 82018 minus 75,000 original investment, right? So 82018 minus 75,000, so I'll get the net present value of rupees, that is 7018 positive, right? So my net present value will be 7018 positive. Is it clear to each and every student? Fine. So 7018 positive net present value I am getting. So again in net present value also project B is better. Now PI, what is my profitability index? Total present value divided by present value of investment, right? So my total present value is 82018 divided by present value of investment 75,000. Again I am getting the answer of 1.09, right? So in that the present value, that is profitability index, was 0.92. Here, students, it is 1.09. I hope each and everyone is clear with this part, right? So what we have done, students, is we have calculated your ARR, NPV and PI on the basis of the cash flow given in the question, right? According to the depreciation, according to the tax rate. Hope everyone has completed this part. Fine. So you need to again solve the sums. More sums you solve, more practice you do, more efficiently you can score the marks. Fine. I hope it is clear. Now we'll see one comparison for giving a final answer, right? What has been asked in the sum, that is your which project is advantageous according to all the three methods. Fine. So here if you do a comparative analysis, project A ARR is 12%, project B ARR is 21.33%, right? So again due to this method project B is better. NPV here is negative, which is not accepted at all, right? Here it is positive 7018. So again according to NPV, project B. Here PI is 0.92 and here PI is 1.09, right? So again according to your PI method also, your project B is better. Thus we can say, students, that on evaluation of both the projects, according to all the three methods, right, project B is more advantageous than project A. So again management is advised to adopt and implement project B rather than project A. I hope it is clear to each and every student. Fine. So this is type of long sum which is asked. Again we did in the last lecture, again we did today also. Fine. Hope it's clear to each and every student. Now moving on students to the next part, that is the sum of your IRR, right? This is the method, internal rate of return, that we saw in the last lecture. Having a quick glance over it, right? I'll explain you what do you mean by IRR students. It is the rate at which the future value of cash flow, net cash flow, is equals to the present value of investment, right? So again the difference between both of them should be zero. So whatever discounting factor we are readily taking it in the previous methods, here you need to find out that discounting factor students, right? So that discounting factor is known as IRR. I hope it is clear. Fine. So we'll quickly understand this with the help of example. Now this formula is most important. This is what we studied in the last lecture. What is this? A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus up till AN upon 1 plus R, 1 plus R square, 1 plus R cube and 1 plus R raised to N, right? What is it? It is net cash flow, investment and rate of discount. So we'll be calculating this with the help of a practical example. What is the sum all about? A very short sum. The estimated capital expenditure of a project are 23,000, right? So what is the actual investment? What is the original cost? That is 23,000 rupees, right? What are the economic life? Economic life is how much? It is 5 years, right? So in all the economic life of the project is 5 years. Its cash flow is 10,000, 8,000, 6,000, 4,000 and 3,000 respectively. So you have been given students the cash flow for 5 consecutive years, right? Finding out the IRR. You need to just find out the IRR, right? So how we are gonna do it? In the following way, you can start with that. Fine. So first you have to write down the year as usual. Net cash flow you will be writing. Now discounting factor, we don't know students, right? In every sum the discounting factor is given and the values are given, but we need to find this in particular year, right? Particular sum. So what we need to do is, for finding out, first we'll begin with the 12% rate of discount, right? So discounting rate will be 12%. Fine. So when you start with the 12% discounting rate, so you will multiply the factors at the discounting rate with the net cash flow, right? So when you multiply this with the help of net cash flow, you will get the present value. Fine. I hope it is clear to each and every student. So first of all, multiplying this with the help of 12% discount rate, we are just trying. So when you try this 12% discounting rate, fine, so you will get a present value of 23,823. This is what we used to do in your ARR. Fine. So 23,823 is the value I am getting. So what you need to do is compare this with the original investment. So it is 23,000. Remember students, IRR is that value which makes equal the investment and the net present value. That is what we found out, right? So here 23,823 is higher than the investment of 23,000. So I can say that both are not equal. So we need to try another discounting factor, right? So this is a trial and error method, as I already told you. Again, this is very rarely asked in your exam, but you need to do the practice for the same. So we will start with another discounting factor, that is 16%, right? So try to again reduce the difference between the investment and the actual cash flow value. So for finding out, let us now begin with 16% rate of discount. Same students, you need to write down the years, you need to write down the net cash flow, discounting factors again at 16% rate, right? So 16% rate you need to find out, and present value, right? So present value you will be finding by multiplying it with the cash flow. So you are getting the total present value of 21,946, right? Again, what was my investment students? It was 23,000, and 21,946 is much more smaller or lower value than 23,000. So again they are not equal. Fine. So as it is a trial and error method, you need to continuously take different factors of capital discounting factor and multiply this with the present value. So again moving on students, this is again not equal to my present value, that is investment. So what I'll do is I'll now try with the 14%, that is the in between, because 16 is much lower and 12 was much higher. So I'll try with the 14%. Same thing you will do here is, now you have to multiply this with the discounting factor at 14%, right? So discounting factor at 14% gives me the present value of 8770, multiplying it so on and so far, I'll get the 22,894, right? Now here students, one doubt may arise in your mind, that how do you calculate the discounting factor? If it is given in the question, then it is okay. But if it is not given, for the first year, what you need to do is take the calculator, then you need to calculate the 1 divided by whatever the factor you are having, right? For example, if it is 14%, so you will take 1 divided by 1 plus 0.14, that is 1.14 is equals to, right? So 1 divided by 1.14 is equals to, then you will get the answer of 0.877. If you do is equals to for the second time, then you will get 0.769. If you do is equals to for the third time, then you will get 0.675 for the third year, right? So I suppose it is clear to each and every student. How you calculate discounting factor, even if it is not given in the exam, then you can calculate with the help of 1 divided by 1 plus. If it is 14%, 1/4. If it is again 12%, so 1 divided by 1.12. If it is 10%, 1 divided by 1.10, and is equals to for the first year, second is equals to for the second year. Hope it's clear. So similarly, you will find out the present value by multiplying it. Now here students, you are getting 22,894. Now also it is not equal to your 23,000 original investment, but we can say that it is very nearer, right? It is only 106 rupees away. So I can say that my IRR is approximately 14%. It may be 14 point something, or it may be 13 point something, right? But for our understanding and calculation, we can assume that it is 14% approximately. I hope it is clear, students. So this is your IRR method, where you need to calculate again and again, trial and error method, what will be your discounting factor. I hope it is done to each and every student. I hope everyone understood this part fine. So this is for your capital budgeting chapter, students. I'll be giving you the notes of the chapter along with the practice sums, also along with the answers, so that you can practice more. Any queries, any doubts, you can definitely post in Google Classroom. We are here to help you out. So this is from your chapter of long-term decision making, capital budgeting, the methods we did, the merits and demerits, the practical sums also we solved about. This all are university sums, fine. So this is all from my part for today's lecture. Let's conclude it. Thank you very much everyone for your attention. Take care. Have a nice day ahead. See you in the next lecture, students. Thank you.